Hello class, welcome to Dftg 1317 AutoCAD Architecture. And today we're going to go ahead and start putting the videos together for you guys to actually watch. We're going to we're going to start with the main floor plan that's documented in the book. But before we start, I'm going to go ahead and uh, go over some of the things that we went over in class on last Friday as it regards the optimization of our AutoCAD tool for speed. Okay, so first things first, and this is one thing that we did not cover. I want you guys to go down here and click this down arrow next to the snap mode menu. Okay, and click on snap settings. And what I want you to do is go to 3D object snap settings. Okay, and click select all. All right, and also I want you to go to object snap settings and click select all. This will turn all your snap settings on, and you'll see why this is important as we start drawing on the model. Okay, now next thing I want to do is type in dim style, S-T-Y-L-E. We went over this in class. I just want to make sure that we have it on video just in case some of you missed it. And we want to click modify here. Okay, and we want to go to lines, symbols, and arrows. Leave it at architectural tick, close field. Go to 330 seconds if you have it. Um, and also go over to primary units. We want to change the precision to a 1/2 inch. Okay. And then we want to click OK and get out of that. All right. And now also we want to go to, I'm sorry, let's see. We also want to go to drawing utilities, and we want to go to units. Okay. And you want to make sure this is set to architectural. We want to make sure this is set to, actually, we can leave the units set to 1/2 inch here as well. Okay. Then click OK. That way, when we start adding dimensions, our precision will be set to a 1/2 inch because we want our dimensions to actually stay clean. Either it's going to be a holistic dimension like 6 feet, or it's going to be like 6'1.5". We're not going to have 6'1 3/4", any things of that nature, due to the fact that these contractors, okay, when they're constructing the buildings, it's best to give them dimensions that's either whole or in half. So if you give them something that's a little bit like in the 330 seconds variety or the 1/6 or 5/16 variety, that just kind of frustrates them and gets them thrown off. And we want to keep those guys on track as much as we possibly can because they're the ones that's actually constructing the building. So when you give them clean dimensions, so to speak, this will allow for them to build the building in a cleaner fashion as it regards cost. Because if they get something off because of a dimension, then that's going to, apply additional cost to the owner. And we don't want to do that to our owners because, they have been, good enough to bring projects our way. We want to make sure that we're efficient in all aspects of that project, including the financing. Okay. So next thing we want to do is want to type in the word preferences. Here's where we're actually going to optimize our AutoCAD drawing for speed. Okay. And when you type preferences in, you want to go to display. And you want to change your crosshair size to 5. Okay. And this will help you align things up as you draw the model. And if you're not comfortable with 100%, you can put it at 50%. Okay, but you definitely want something larger than what it comes set by default because you're going to need those vertical and horizontal lines on our pointer, on our mouse pointer, to actually line things up. Okay, it just helps things, it helps you line things visually without actually zooming in and clicking on things. Okay, so it serves as a guide. Open and save, you can leave that as is. In fact, we want to come all the way over here to drafting. Okay, auto snap aperture size, you want to turn that all the way up. The aperture size, you want to turn that all the way up. Then you want to come over here to 3D modeling. Let's leave the 3D modeling as is. Okay, and then you want to come over here to selection, and you want to turn the pick box size all the way up, and you want to turn the grip box size all the way up. Then click apply, then click OK. So now, as you can see, you have a very large crosshair, okay? And, things are, that's going to help you align things. So say if you want to draw a line and you hit F8 for ortho. Okay, so line, and turn on the F8. Or on my laptop, I have to hold control and hit F8. There it is. So when you click on this line, okay, say if you want to draw a line and attach it to this, the reason why we change those snap settings is because you want to be able to click on the end of the line. You see how big the aperture size is? It just helps you optimize it for speed. When that guy is small, the little green box, you have to zoom all the way in to get an accurate snap setting or accurate snap to that line. Okay, and also you see how the triangle pops up? That lets you know you're at the center of that line. So you can come here and draw a line right off of the center of that line, okay? And again, you can hit the space bar to activate the same command, to activate the line command. Whenever you want to activate the previous command, just hit the space bar, and that will actually help you activate the command. I also have hotkeys I'm going to send out to you guys first thing. You guys will get that first thing in the morning, so you can actually continue working on your models, okay? So I just wanted to go ahead and get that done. So we're going to go ahead and start working on our models. As you may or may not know, I don't think I have it downloaded here, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. So this is the floor plan that we are going to be constructed. I just want to show it here. I actually have my little tablet open here. It just kind of helps me as I draw this because I don't like toggling my screens back and forth unless I have dual monitors or something like that, right? But this is the actual floor plan that we are going to be creating today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in, okay? See your properties menus here, okay? We're going to go over all of these menus. We went over some of this stuff in class. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going over it in great detail here. I will include a video that goes over the AutoCAD interface, okay? And this is 2024, so if you're running 2024, uh, there are certain things you can do as per the versions of AutoCAD. There are certain things you can do in, let's just say, the odd year versions, and there are certain things that you can do in the even year versions. I don't know why they don't make all of them the same each year, but I like the even year version simply because you can come to this track, this properties menu over here. Okay, let's see if I can get it to. Let's pull it out some. So when you pull it out, you see where it says property. If you right click there and you click transparency, then you can make this palette a little bit transparent. You don't need it to be dark. It's good to have it a little bit transparent. I like to put it at 51%, okay? We can leave the rollover as is, uh, simply because when you start adding things to the drawing, okay, it's just going to help that you have some transparency there so you can actually see through it, okay? And sometimes this thing will actually, sorry, I'm clicking the wrong thing here. Yeah, leave it at 51%. Okay. And what you have to do is don't dock it all the way. Just kind of pull it close as you can to the side here. Okay. And then you want to stretch it out just a little bit. Okay. So something like that. And again, it wants to dock on its own. If you have dual monitors, then you can take this and actually drag this over to another monitor. Uh, but I like it to have some transparency because you can see your drawing up underneath it. Okay, you see how you can see the crosshair underneath it, and you can do the same thing with this X reference palette, and we'll talk more about this later. Okay, and just put this to, let's drag it to 51, then click OK, and don't dock them. All right. And what's going to happen is as you matriculate throughout the coursework, you're going to find out what works best for you. But for me, this is what works best because a lot of times these things, they take up monitor space and screen size. And you want to have that, uh, you want to have that as transparent as possible to where you can actually see the palette and you can actually see the work beneath it. And you guys will see how that actually works once we start working on the model. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and start working on the model. Okay, first things first. Um, we talked about things that are in the properties menu. Okay, and this is the menu where you can manipulate every line type, every line weight, every plot style, every view, everything you do to a line or to a block or to anything or to a tag or to any type of annotation. You can manipulate it here in the properties menu. Okay, let's go ahead and make this guy a little bit longer. All right, yeah, get as close as you can without it docking, and that's how I like to have mine. Okay, and we talked about a lot of this stuff in class, but I'm just going over it again because repetition is your best teacher. Okay, and again, I'm going to include a video that goes over the complete AutoCAD interface. So every tab up here, the insert tab, the annotate tab, the insert tab, that's how we insert PDFs, if you guys remember, and this is how we insert things into our drawing that we want to include into it. The annotate tab, that's where we do all of our documentations. Okay, this is where we have all of our dimensions and dimension types and stuff, things of that nature. Parametric, that has a lot to do with 3D modeling. We won't get into that right now. However, it depends on how fast we matriculate through the work. I would like to show you guys how to do some 3D work. I did a brief demonstration in class on last week. However, we have to get to a certain, let's just say, let's get to a certain place before we actually do that work. The view tab, this is where you can look at specific views and modify viewports and include things with different views into the model. The manage tab, this is how you manage all the settings, things like finishes and stuff like that. And you can actually do screen records and stuff. We won't get into that right now, and we'll talk about that later. One thing I do want to touch on is the Express tools, and we'll talk more about this as well as we get into the Express layers. But for right now, we want to stay on the Home tab, okay? Now, this is the layer. These are the layers, okay? All of these different colors represent a different layer. So for every line that's on the page, it has a specific layer that it should be on, okay? So let's just say all of your exterior walls on your floor plan. So you have walls for your sections, you have additional wall for your sections. There should be one here for your floor plans. It should just say a wall. And let's see if I can locate it here. Yeah, let's see. There's a bath wall. We should use that one just for right now. A kitchen wall. There's sometimes a plan walls. That's what we want to use because we're getting ready to draw exterior walls. Okay. Now, if we look at this guy right here, we can actually see that the overall footprint of our building is, let's zoom in a little bit. And where's my pen? Well, we'll just use these guys. So our building is 61 by 36, okay? So first things first, we can go ahead and start with the footprint, 61 by 36, and then there's another 28 foot. All right, so let's go back to our AutoCAD drawing, okay? And hit L for line. And again, there's gonna be hotkeys, and let's go back to units here. Let's go back to drawing utilities and go back to units. Everything is in architectural. Let's go back to dim style. I'm going to change this guy to architectural as well. Precision. Let's go to a 1/2 inch. Tolerances, we're going to leave that alone. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and draw a line here and hit function 8 for ortho. And then let's go ahead and hit the spacebar to activate the line command again and do one and draw one just like that. Okay. So the next thing we want to do, we want to offset this line. We know that our building in its width is 36 inches. So we're gonna type in OF for offset and hit the spacebar to activate it. And then just type in 36 feet and select this line and offset it 36 feet. Let's see. Oh, it did 3 feet. Let's see. 36 feet. And zoom out. Click it. Zoom all the way out. Whenever you get to a point to where you can't zoom out, let's take this guy here and let's actually move it over away from the X, Y, and Z axis. Let's take this guy and move it down and clean it up just a little bit. Okay. And offset it 36 feet. And zoom all the way in here. Okay. Hit TR for trim and trim this guy. Okay. So we can go ahead and type in DI here and get a distance to make sure we are okay, 36 feet. And we also know that the building is 61 feet in length. So hit O for offset. Hit O for offset. Or select the guy, select the line. O for offset. And you want to type in 61 feet. Hit the space bar to activate it. And there your 61 feet is. So that's our building footprint. You want to type in TR to clean these lines up. Okay, just like that. And okay, let's go ahead, and there is a jog in the building on the south side, on the southwest side. So that jog is actually 8 feet. So let's go ahead and take this line and offset it 8 feet. Offset. And then type in 8 feet. Okay. And we know that this line, that there's a jog in the building that's actually 38 feet from the east to the west. So let's type in offset and type in 38 feet from the east to the west. Okay, now let's clean it up. Type in TR for trim. Clean this line up here. Clean it up here and here. And there's our building footprint. Okay, very quick, very simple. All right. Now, we are going to show the 4-inch brick veneer. On this portion of the south wall. On the southeast portion of the south wall, we're going to show that 4-inch brick veneer. So we need to go ahead and let's go ahead and show it to where we're showing an 1.5 inch airspace. So you want to go offset and you want to type in 1-1/2 inch. Well, let's do it. Let me do it again. Offset. And then the brick is 4 inches, so you want to type in offset again, and you want to type in 4. Just hit 4. All right, and there's your brick. Okay. And what you want to do is you want to close this end off, so you want to type in L for line and draw a line from here to here. Okay. And we'll go back and hatch that later. In fact, let's go ahead and hatch it now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and clean it up right here because sometimes these hatches act funny. So you want to trim this guy right here and then type a line, draw a line right there. And then you want to type in H for hatch. And then you want to tell it what type of hatch. Up here, this is all the different types of hatches that you can put into your model. So there should be one that comes by default that says brick. This guy right here. And you want to come and select that. Okay, you got a polylining up. So type in PL for polyline. And sometimes it won't allow you. It's saying that it's not closed. That's kind of why I actually did, why I trimmed it here and put a specific line there. Okay, but let's go ahead and close it. You could actually draw a rectangle to close it, because this one is a rectangle. Just draw a rectangle. Okay, and then you want to come here and type in hatch again, and you want to select brick, and then you want to tell it you want to select the object. So select the object, and there's your brick. That's not the type of brick we want. We don't want a brick in elevation. So type in H again for hatch. Let's see if we can find one that's kind of what we want. And a lot of times you have to be creative with these hatches. You may have to just select some vertical lines, and that'll actually show up like you want it to show up. Or we could use some horizontal, or we could use some 45s. Let's put some 45s in. If there's not one that I think that's good enough, we'll just throw some 45s in there. The brickstone that is showing, it's actually 4 elevations. So let's see if we can find some. All right, so let's use ANS 131. And then select this guy, and there it is. Okay. And now let's go ahead and select this guy. Let's put it on a different layer. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Eggplant walls. It's on a pattern. Tell you what we can do is we can come here and we can attempt to manipulate the scale. Or do we want to manipulate the scale? Let's see. Yeah, manipulate the scale. Make it a little bit bigger. And come over here. And let's do something like 15.0. That way it shows up. In fact, let's do 25. 25.0. Didn't take, I don't think it took. Okay. Well, let's try 50. It's still a little bit too small. There you go. That way in the floor plan it reads like that. Okay. You can actually take the hatch and put it on a different layer or change the color. Most hatches I like to show them as gray. Okay, so a lot of times you can come here and you can select color number 9 and then click OK. All right. So it kind of stands out a little bit. So there's our building footprint, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. Now that we've got the brick wall drawn, let's go ahead and apply an offset to the exterior walls. We know we want those walls to be 6 inches. So let's go ahead and offset these walls to be 6 inches. So you're going to type in O for offset and just type in 6. Without okay, when you want things to be done swiftly in inches, just type in the number 6. It comes default. By default, it comes set to actually produce inches, whereas other softwares, if I just type in 6, it'll actually produce those in foot. So just type in 6. That'll give you a 6-inch offset. And you click this line. Let's offset them all. Okay, and let's go ahead and close them. Let's close them up. Okay, so here you need to trim these lines. So you're going to type in TR and hit the space bar to activate the trim command. Select here. Select here and here. And in places where are not connected, you're going to have to use the extend option. And I'll show you where we're going to use that in just 1 second. So here, you can use extend, type in EX, and zoom out. And it's going to extend that line over there. It's going to extend this one here. And sometimes something like this will happen. You just have to clean it up. And let me undo it. Let me show you a different way you can do that. You can just grab this line, grab the blue grip and pull it up. Okay, and then type in TR, hit the space bar twice, and trim it and clean it up. Okay, so now these are exterior plan walls. That's the layer that they should be on. Let's go to the Home tab, select it, A plan walls. Okay, there should be one in here for exterior brick. Let's see if we can find one. If there's not one in here, then I'm going to show you guys how to create a layer. So let's see. I mean, you could put it on a elevation chimney layer, but let's see if we can find one that they have for exterior brick. Typically, they won't have one, or we can put it on a plan fireplace layer. In fact, I think I may use that one because all fireplaces are created out of brick, just to save time. But if we wanted to, we could actually go in and create a layer that says a exterior brick. And typically they would have that, but it just depends on who actually set this drawing up. The instructor that set this drawing up, he didn't include it in here. So I'll show you guys how to create a layer with something a little bit different. But let's go back to that a exterior brick. Let's see if I can find it. Or better yet, let's go ahead and just create it. So you're going to click the layer properties menu here. You're going to, in the window area, you're going to right click and you're going to select new layer. And what you're going to do there, you're going to say, just call it A exterior brick, A-EXT dash brick. And hit enter. And right now, the light bulb tells you that the layer is on. You can turn layers on and off. We'll get into that in just 1 second. This is where you can freeze layers. We'll get into that when we start utilizing X references and bringing them into the model. And this is where you can lock a layer where it cannot be manipulated in any form, way, or fashion. We'll get into that in more detail once we actually dive into the model and get some things drawn. But right now I don't like this color 240. I typically like to match a brick layer with a brick type color. So if you click the little red box here, this little color palette will pop up. And typically brick will probably be something like, color 22 maybe. Let's go with color 32. And that's going to be a exterior brick. So select OK. And now your layer has been created for your brick. Now, let's go ahead and turn the transparency on this guy down to 51. Okay. That way, when you're not hovering over it, you see how you can see the drawing beneath it? Sometimes our screens get cluttered and it just helps, guys. Trust me on that. So let's go ahead and close this out. And let's select the polyline or the rectangle that we drew around the brick area. And let's go to the A exterior brick layer. If I can find it. Where is it? There it is, A exterior brick. And now that's on the A exterior brick layer. Now let me show you guys how to utilize the layer functions. So if you wanted to turn this layer off, you can select it and come and click the light bulb. Wait, hold on. Let's undo. Select it. Pull the drop down menu and click the light bulb that's next to it. Where'd it go? See, it's off. So you see it went away. And we can delete these lines that we use for construction lines at the beginning to actually produce the hatch. Now, to turn it back on, you just do the opposite. Okay, you come here and you actually look for the one that's off. So you just turn it back on here and that line comes back on. Now let's undo it. I'm going to show you guys a quicker way to do it because, I'm going to send you guys your hotkeys over this morning. I'm going to show you a quicker way to do it. You can just type in LAYTHW, lay thaw, and hit the space bar. Or you can type in LAYON for lay on, hit the space bar. Okay, hit the space bar again. It says all layers have been thawed, all layers have been turned on. Okay, but as you can see, it's not showing up. So in that case, sometimes AutoCAD, just like the Rivet software, it does glitch. However, you have to learn how to manipulate it when it does glitch. So let's go up back to that layer again, or you can just hit undo, Control Z. And guys, if you hold down Control Z, you just hold it down. Let's see, here's the arrow right here, undo, okay? And here's another arrow right here for redo, okay? But if you hold down Control Z, let's go back and say if I wanted to draw a line here, I had a line here and a line here, I can just hold down Control Z and it'll undo it quickly. But sometimes you want, if you do that, it'll undo things that you don't want to undo, okay? So make sure you just make yourself aware of that and be cognizant if you're going to utilize that function. Okay, now let's go ahead and add the interior walls, okay? And if we're looking on the west side of the building, in the family room, we have an exterior wall that's basically 12 foot 2 inches from, we have an interior wall that's basically 12 foot 2 inches from the exterior wall. So let's go ahead and offset that 12 feet 2 inches. So type in O for offset, 12 feet dash 2. And it is 12 feet 2 from the exterior wall. So you can actually take this guy, select it. Now this should be on the interior wall layer. It's on the exterior wall layer. Well, let's rename this because it should be, you can go to the layer palette menu again and go to that A plan. And a lot of times you can just look at the color to help you find it quicker. Let's see. And you can actually manipulate these and bring it over so you can see A plan text, A plan windows. So you want the A exterior walls. It's that blue color. Let's see. E plan base, E room labels. Let's see, which one is it? A lot of times it's closes. We select that wall and then we go to the color palette. Click it down here, A plan walls. Click the down arrow here and just find A plan walls, A plan appliances, columns, dim doors, fireplace. Wall should be coming up. There it is, A plan walls. Right click that and click rename. And you want this one to be A plan EXT for exterior walls. And let's make that color a little bit darker. Typically the darker blue actually gives you a thicker line weight. So let's change that to this color right here, color 1. Let's go with color 180. Click OK. Now close this out. And now you'll see that all of your exterior walls change to that dark color blue. When you select it, now you have A plan exterior walls. And the reason I've done that is because we're going to create another layer that's going to say A plan interior walls. So go back to your layer properties menu and find that A plan exterior wall layer. A lot of times you can just look for the color. There it is. Select here and you can actually, let's say, create. And sometimes it's easier just to duplicate the layer and change the color. But I think my 2024 version does not show that option. Let's see, freeze layer. Alright, so let's just create a new layer. And we will call it A plan, PLAN dash INT dash WALLS. And we want those walls to be a lighter color. Let's go ahead and make them something like, let's use color index 140. Click OK. And I close this guy out and then select this and place that on that layer that we just created. A plan exterior walls, A-plan, interior walls here. So your exterior walls and your interior walls should have some variation in color. That way you can determine and make sure that your layers are applied properly. Okay, so we offset that wall. Now we need to give this wall its thickness, 6 inches. So you're going to hit offset and type in 6, hit enter, and offset that guy. Okay, let's go ahead and clean it up at the exterior wall. So type in TR and select this guy. Click, 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 clean it up. You always want that to be open. That's just how it's shown on the plan. Okay. Um, Actually, for when you're connecting to an exterior wall, let's close it. Yeah, let's do something like that. Right. Now we actually have to give it its boundaries. So if you look at the floor plan at the northwest side, that room is 17'6". If you're gonna offset the east wall westward, you have to offset it 17'6". So type in offset and type in 17'-6" and hit enter. Okay, and that's 17'6", and then we offset that wall back eastward 6 inches to give it its thickness. So we're gonna type in O and then type in 6. Oh, jeez. 6, 7. Alright, and you want to match the wall with the interior. Okay. Let's go ahead and trim it up here. And there we have our interior wall for our family room, but actually this line is going to stretch down. Okay. We're actually going to be putting a stair in right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's offset this wall 3'6". 1 second. How's my pop?